My name is Jonathan Orioli, and this is the presentation on Chapter 2, The Amazon, from Don't Sleep, There Are Snakes, by Daniel Everett. Here are the chapter focuses. The vast majority of Chapter 2 is Daniel Everett's description of the Amazon's geography, beginning with a detailed illustration of the size and living conditions of the forest. The chapter also concentrates on the great river system that flows throughout the lands. Occupying the seemingly infinite forests are an array of Brazilian civilizations and tribes struggling to preserve the beauty and resources of the Amazon. Looking back, the chapter also reveals the history behind the first group of settlers. And lastly, Daniel examines the similarities between the Piraha and Mura languages. The first step of surviving the Amazon is accepting the brutal temperatures reaching nearly 110 degrees, but proves to be bearable as the forests provide plenty of shade. Contrarily, the humidity is much harder to accept since it provokes constant perspiration. Once you make peace with this outrageous environment, you can start appreciating the forest scenery that covers 40% of South America's body. The land and lush green trees dominate nearly 3 million square miles of this territory. In view of that, there is enough dark and unknown land to consume a million imaginations, as Daniel put it, concealing a boundless mixture of ecosystems, history, people, and politics. Within the Amazon lies Brazil, the fifth largest body of land in the world, home to large groups of Portuguese, Germans, Italians, other Europeans, and Asians. However, the majority population areas of southeastern Brazil reside 2,000 miles from the core of the Amazon. Actually, lastly, the characteristics of the Amazon land is only part of what makes this natural phenomenon so fascinating. Now moving on to the Great Amazon River System. This leads us to the Great Amazon River System, which flows over 4,000 miles from Peru to the Atlantic, stretching 200 miles at the mouth. This river system consists of two types of rivers, muddy rivers and dark water rivers, which are both considered old rivers due to their slow-moving currents. Unlike dark water rivers, muddy rivers, like the Amazon and Madeira, are abundant in plant life and wildlife. Coincidentally, Daniel had encountered life inhabiting the banks of the Mackay River, where the Piraha reside. Unfortunately for Daniel, this wasn't a case to embrace nature. Rather, swarms of mudocas flies had viciously attacked his exposed skin, feeding off of his blood. In his words, why not hate them? Because the frustration will kill you faster than the bugs will. Preserving Brazilian culture. Moving on to Brazilian culture, a culture in fear of foreign intervention. As Brazilian colleagues expressed to Daniel, school children learn in their official textbooks that the Amazon belongs to the United States. Though home is far from the depths of the Amazon, they pride themselves on the beauty and well-received attraction that it provides the world. That being said, they are largely in favor of conserving the diversity of minerals that the Amazon nurtures, alleging that the U.S. has destroyed much greater forest areas than have yet been destroyed in the Amazon. As a means to elude practices of international governances, the Brazilian Institute of the Environment and Renewable Natural Resources Agency poses as a well-equipped professional staff determined to preserve the natural offerings of the Amazon. To get a grasp of how the Amazon natives established their settlements, Daniel discusses a quick history lesson. Two major views are examined. One belief that the agricultural fertility of the Amazonian soil was too poor to sustain large civilizations, giving reason behind the long history of hunter-gatherers. The idea comes from three waves of migration, each forced to migrate across the Beringia, then was the bridge that connected Asia to the Americas. According to linguist Professor Joseph Greenberg, the languages of Mexico southward are better connected linguistically than those of Central and Northern North America. The first migration previously discussed was forced deep into the southern tier of North America, gradually drifting to their current residencies, which explains the relationship between languages. Now moving on to the Piraha and Mura languages. Contrarily, evidence suggests that Piraha and the now extinct related dialect Mura form a single language isolate, simply known as Mura Piraha. However, it is impossible to confirm that Piraha was not related to any prior Amazonian languages. The existence of such language isolates can perhaps be better understood by the theory that large amounts of time can potentially erase the similarities between languages. In either case, without the appropriate documentation supporting related languages, we will never know where the Piraha or their language originated. This brings us to our conclusion. In conclusion, through Daniel's tough yet exciting tribulations and discoveries, he is pleased to say that adjusting as a family to life in the Amazon has sparked a sense of great appreciation and enjoyment for all the Amazon has to offer. He has painted a beautiful picture of the Amazon, but the unforgiving wilderness has yet to be fully exposed. That concludes the rest of my presentation.